Alright, well, today I will be teaching you guys how to solve an aristocrat. Um, and to do that, I'll just be doing some example problems, right? So first, I see this little pattern here, and I'm like, what else could it be? It's that. Oh, it is not that. It is else's. I'm sorry. I know it's else's because this little pattern here could either be that or else. And because of this S here, we know it's else's, right? And then after we know that, I see this pattern. I'm like, okay, someone, right? Someone else's. That makes sense. And I think of this, like, even if I didn't know it was deserve, I kind of see this little gap here. I see the R, I see the V, so I'm thinking deserve. So read, and then we can kind of just fill it out. So if you, um, and then we don't really know, but probably like what you get what you deserve, something like that, right? It's not too bad. Next one, right? There's not, I can't find any notable patterns I see here. So I kind of go with the because with the it's THE. And T and E, if you didn't know, are the most common frequencies. So this kind of 8 and 9 here is kind of a show that it's the, not that it's always like that, but a lot of the times it is. And now if you look at this, kind of makes more sense because look, there's multiple THEs around here. This is a they have, and then like deserved it. So those who insist. All right, perfect. Those who insist on the dignity of their office show they have not deserved it. There's not many notable patterns here, but that the definitely gives it away. Um, I don't see any notable patterns again. So I kind of go with the same thing. We want to start with the. Doesn't don't look too bad, right? And another one is this th with 1, 2, 3, 4 after it, 3 or 4. A lot of the times it's things or thing, right? And then also this t if it's a if it's a two-letter word and it starts with T, the only other thing it can be is O. It's two, right? It's two, or sometimes very occasionally it'll be TV. I've seen before, but that's pretty uncommon. So silly things saying no man exempt from deliberately. So a lot of the times when people are solving it, they will focus on like knowing the patterns off the bat, and that may be good, but a lot of the times it's actually not knowing it off the bat, but knowing it with certain words filled out that is more important because you want to be able to start it off, obviously, but once you start it off, you need to be able to keep going with only a few letters for each one or for each word. So if we want to start it off here, I see there's a lot of double ones. So I mean like E, O, those two. So I'm actually not too sure on what I do for this one. Um, Obviously we have a one-letter word that's an I or A. We can, yeah, look at that. The there is pretty good, even if the frequencies don't match up too well. I kind of could tell there because I see that the happen twice and the th. Obviously, or not obviously, but this is though or thought it. Who thought it was? I was only. Oh, that's wrong. Only person in the world to be in a good mood. I was the only person in the world who thought it was a military duty to appear to be in a good mood. That one's not too bad. Probably go with the again, though I'm not exactly sure. And then like attacks. Oh, I cannot type. Tags, that's not good. See, this not exactly the best one to learn from. Um, I'll probably skip some of the ones that aren't the best to learn from. Like this is a great pattern to learn from, right? I'm gonna look around. I don't see anything notable, but look at that 12, 6, and 15 for my frequencies. That probably coincides with the, and I see it happens multiple times. Look, that looks pretty good, right? And now we can kind of just, we have the 2 here, 1, and then the I am is pretty good. Cigarette, fingerprint, expert procedure, and or what is not psycho? I cannot. That's how you spell psychology. I seek. It's an interesting one, but just getting that off the bat. Now I see E is the most frequent letter you'll see. I also see this. It kind of looks like the, but I'm not really sure. But I see that the E, like this here, right here with the double, is pretty good with the E. Another thing I see is this pattern, right? Now this pattern is the 5-letter word. It has 2, the 2 that are the same, the second one and the last one. Most commonly, I see like the leave, and I see the witch. Now, the reason why I think this is the, because I also see the witch. Perfect. Now you can fill the rest of these out. Now, another thing that's pretty notable is the TI. This is what I mean by you kind of need to know things that are kind of filled in so you can start guessing. Now, the 2 I see the most common for these is the ING, obviously, or the ON. Either one is pretty common, but this one, putting it in context, the D, right? The D is right here. It's not O because it's not IO, so it has to be NG. But if we wanted to just start from the beginning, I have been, and then the great here, very great pleasure, pair of fine, and we can just fill in the rest. Okay. Honestly, like the every, but this isn't exactly the perfect one to learn off of. This is another notable pattern you'll see a lot. It's the 3rd and the 5th one are the same. That would be there. Pretty common. That's probably what it is because of this through here. Could be where. You can probably tell if it's where because T is a lot more common than W. So this first letter's frequency will be a lot lower. Or these. These in there. It's just looking at the context of this is probably R. Another pattern here, especially once you get the TH, because usually TH is one of the first patterns you'll see. Judging by this, I know it's nothing because these ends coincide with each other. And then we can just fill in the rest of these. So yeah. This one's, you see the dare pattern again, right? 2 protects them, and then I see the A here, because a lot of the times I notice when you first start out is you'll kind of like tunnel vision on like one word trying to guess it. It's very important to look around. If I just saw this or like this, I wouldn't think it's A, but I would know it's A because of this R here. But if I'm only looking at this one word, I wouldn't be able to guess that. And it's actually against their own choices. Rational if individuals. So we know that one. So I'm kind of looking around. I see the 17. And then it's good. It could be E. But I also see this. This one's a little bit more tricky with how you want to approach it. What would I do? Because I could just start guessing. Like, if you're doing one of these, just start guessing, right? Start guessing. So that doesn't look right. Okay, what about this? You know what I mean? But when you're doing something like Science Olympiad, which is what this is for, most of the time, you don't want to be guessing these just because you don't want to waste your time, right? It's not filled in automatically for you, so there's kind of, you don't want to be filling these out. I see that. I see that though. I probably should have seen that earlier because the T and H's kind of match up, and then the rest you can kind of fill out. Got it. You may be smart enough to see what you would wanted. It's pretty good. I probably should have seen that. So here, this is what I mean by it's probably where for this one. Just because of this T only happens twice. Now, this is a pretty niche pattern. Oh, never mind. I thought this was something else. Never mind. Don't worry about that. Is this express? I'm not sure. But we're gonna have the have here. Is this themselves? That's what I mean. Is knowing them in context is very important compared to also knowing them when starting out. What is this? I'm not sure. Not sure, but yeah, we'll skip that. It's fine. I see the pattern again that it's probably keeps or some kind of MS to be more to be not sure, but we can fill in the rest. Oh, it's not. What am I doing? It's D. I was wrong about that. We may. No. We can only. Probably think can because it is only here. I was kind of maybe it was only. So this one is also pretty tricky. Even though the E only appears 3 times, the kind of M gave it away, and that when you see a lot of 2-letter words, because the first and the second one can be T, a lot of the times T will appear in those. So when I see this automatically, I kind of thought that, that's not that. To teach, that's what it is. And then another portent, another what am I doing? Okay. This is a very common one. It's easy to remember. I see it's like that, maybe test, and else. But the most common one is definitely that, and then else, most commonly. But you can tell which is which by looking at the other context. Because L for H, you could usually tell looking at the other words where else it appears. Oh, grow. And expression of it, moments, feeling, foundation, biologically. Right. Now, let's do one more. Another pattern I see is this one. Now, it happens 3 times, like 2nd, 5th, and what is that? 2nd, 5th, and 7th. Also, because I see that P appears 13 times, I would think it's believe. And the I did not mean to press that. And also, I see the I believe. That's pretty good. And then this is what I mean by seeing it in context. Is I look at this, and I see the B and the E, and I think it's because. How do I know that? Because I see it in context. Now, just from this word right here, you could not tell it's because. But because I got part of it, I know it's because. Now, that saves me minutes of time if I'm doing this on paper. That genuinely would save me a minute to 2 minutes. Even like 30 seconds would help me. And because I know this is a C, I also see that this word and this word is probably children and children's. Right? Look. And I can see that just doing that. Should be having Interesting one. But just doing that, just by knowing that because of the B and E, you can automatically save time instead of trying to hop back and forth from different ones. Just knowing that off the bat will save you a lot of the time. So that's very important when practicing, is not just memorizing all of the most frequent frequencies, like not just memorizing the specific word patterns, but learning the word patterns in context is also very important for a lot of people, and a lot of people neglect doing that when practicing. So that's also important. But that just about wraps it up for this one. And all right, thank you for watching.